So how in the world do you go about overhauling healthcare for 1.4 billion people? I mean, think about that scale. It's got to be one of the most ambitious public health missions ever attempted. Today, we're going to unpack the incredible story of India's journey to build a system that's affordable, accessible, and ready for whatever comes next, for every single one of its citizens.
But before we dive in, I want you to look at this number. Just take it in. 64.2%. Any guesses what that could be? In the context of a nation's health, this single figure is the reason this whole story even began.
Well, that's what it was. In 2014, a staggering 64.2% of all healthcare spending in India came directly from people's own pockets. This wasn't just an inconvenience, it was a crisis. A single illness could bankrupt a family, pushing them into a cycle of poverty. This was the problem, the core challenge that needed a radical, nationwide solution. All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. We've just seen the challenge. Next up, we'll get into the Ayushman Bharat blueprint, the massive plan to fix it. Then we'll check the scoreboard and measure the impact. After that, we'll look at the digital revolution that's supercharging the system. And finally, we'll look ahead to the vision for 2047. Let's get into it.
So how do you even begin to tackle that huge out-of-pocket burden? Well, in 2018, India launched its massive flagship initiative, Ayushman Bharat. The name literally translates to Long Life India. And believe me, the ambition behind it is just as grand.
Now, what's really important to understand here is that this wasn't just some small incremental program. No way. This was a total mindset shift for the entire country's healthcare system. The goal was to move away from a model where you only see a doctor when you're really sick to one that covers the whole spectrum, from wellness and prevention all the way to treatment for major diseases.
And the strategy to do this was basically a 1-2 punch. Pillar 1, build up the foundation. Strengthen primary care, bringing it right into people's neighborhoods for prevention and early treatment. And Pillar 2, create a massive financial safety net to protect families from the crippling cost of a hospital stay.
And when we talk about that first pillar, the scale is just mind-boggling. To get care closer to where people actually live, over 176,000 local health centers were upgraded into these Ayushman Arogya Mandirs, or health and wellness centers. We're talking more services right in your local community.
Now for that second pillar, the financial safety net. This number right here, this is the real game changer. 5 lakh rupees, that's $500,000, and that is the amount of cashless hospitalization coverage that every single eligible family gets every single year.
So who gets this amazing coverage under what's called the PMJA scheme? The numbers are just staggering. It targets 550 million people. That's the most vulnerable 40% of the entire population, and it's designed to be incredibly inclusive. There's no cap on family size, no age limit, and maybe most importantly, it covers pre-existing conditions from day one. That alone removes so much fear and anxiety from millions of families.
Okay, so that's the blueprint. It's massive. It's ambitious, for sure. But the billion-dollar question is, has it actually worked? Is it making a difference? Let's take a look at the scorecard and see what the data tells us. And right away, here is the headline result. Remember that huge 64% number for out-of-pocket costs we started with? Well, look at this. It's plummeted from nearly 63% down to under 40%. That is a huge, huge drop. And that's not just a number on a chart. For millions of families, that difference means being able to afford better food, education for their kids, or just living without that constant fear of a medical bill wiping them out. But the impact goes way beyond just financials. It's about saving lives. UN data shows an incredible improvement in child survival rates. Since 1990, mortality for kids under 5 is down a whopping 79%, and neonatal mortality is down 70%. You can draw a direct line from these numbers back to that focus on primary care, better maternal services, and immunization.
And this stronger healthcare system at home has also cemented India's role on the global stage. The country produces 60% of the world's vaccines and about 20% of its generic medicines. This manufacturing power makes healthcare more affordable not just for India, but for the entire planet.
But the story doesn't stop there, not by a long shot. The next chapter in this transformation is all about technology. We're talking a full-on digital revolution to make healthcare smarter, faster, and even more accessible to everyone. This quote just nails the whole philosophy. The goal of technology here isn't to replace doctors and nurses. It's about giving them superpowers. It's about empowering them to do their jobs better, faster, and to reach more people than ever before, which is absolutely critical in a country as vast as India.
So what does this tech actually look like in practice? Well, first you've got telehealth,
which is a total game changer. It means a patient in a tiny remote village can get a virtual consultation with a top specialist in a big city. Then you have AI-powered diagnostics. Imagine an AI that can analyze a chest X-ray for signs of tuberculosis in seconds. It's happening. Then there's this idea of a digital front door, a single app for everything from booking an appointment to seeing your lab results. And finally, the Internet of Medical Things. Think of wearable devices that are constantly feeding data to your doctor so they can spot a problem before it becomes an emergency.
So, where does all of this lead? Well, the vision is set for 2047, which is the year India will celebrate its 100th anniversary of independence. And it turns out, the country's healthcare goals are completely tied up with its economic ambitions.
And the targets they've set, they are just monumental. We're talking 100% health insurance coverage for everyone, a medical college in every single district, millions more hospital beds, and a massive ramp-up of the workforce to over 5 million doctors and 12.5 million nurses. This is about building the infrastructure, both physical and human, for a truly world-class system.
And this is where it all clicks into place. The vision for healthcare in 2047 is seen as the absolute foundation for the economic vision. Projections show that by 2075, India could be the world's second largest economy. And the thinking is simple. You can't get there without a healthy, productive population. A healthy nation is a wealthy nation.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, it's a story of incredible transformation. It's about moving from a system that was a crushing financial burden to one that's tech-savvy, accessible, and aimed at creating a healthier and more prosperous future for 1 billion people. And that leaves us with one final, really big question to think about. As India keeps pushing forward on this journey, tackling these immense challenges of scale and diversity, could this unique model, a mix of public health, financial protection, and digital innovation, actually become a blueprint for other developing nations around the world? It's a story that everyone is watching.
Thanks for watching.